You finally did it. You stacked your first $100,000. For most people, that number is a fantasy they talk about but never reach. But you're here, and now you're standing at a crossroads, because this is the moment where people either turn that money into freedom or make decisions that send them straight back to zero. The next moves you make will decide which life you get to live. Like this video so more people who grind to six figures don't end up wasting it, and let's get into it. $100,000 isn't the finish line. It's the starting line of real wealth. It's the first moment where money can start working harder than you do. Money is stored potential energy. If you direct it with intention, it becomes a machine. If you don't, it becomes a cushion that slowly disappears while you stay stuck. That's why lottery winners end up broke and quiet millionaires keep growing. Same money, different decisions. The first thing you do when you hit six figures is simple but powerful. Pause. Don't rush. The moment people hit $100,000, they feel like they have to make a move immediately. Buy a house, dump it into a stock, start a business. But $100,000 is your first soldier. If it dies because of a rushed decision, the war ends before it begins. Wealthy people don't make fast decisions. They make intentional ones. Let your money sit for a moment, not forever, just long enough that every move is driven by logic, not emotion. Protect your first $100,000 before you try to multiply it. Next, build what I call a sleep-at-night fund. Not just an emergency fund you have saved for, but a financial wall between you and panic. Panic makes people do stupid things with money, and nothing kills wealth faster than panic decisions. If your monthly expenses are $3,000, you need $18,000 to $36,000 in a safe high-yield savings account or treasury-backed money market fund. Not in stocks, not in crypto, somewhere stable. This money exists so that if you lose your job or your business slows down, you don't touch your $100,000. You don't panic sell investments. You don't swipe credit cards. You think clearly because you are safe. Third, destroy high-interest debt, credit cards at 20%, personal loans, buy now, pay later junk. If you're paying 20% interest and investing hoping to make 10% returns, you're running up a down escalator. So take a piece of your 100T and wipe out every toxic debt. That's an instant guaranteed return you can't get anywhere else. Now your $100,000 isn't fighting against gravity. Fourth, lock your lifestyle. Here's the trap most people fall into. They hit six figures and suddenly they feel rich. They buy a nicer car, move to a nicer apartment, start eating out more. Their expenses grow with their income and their savings stop growing. That's lifestyle creep. And it's the quiet killer of wealth. If you want to turn $100,000 into $1 million, you keep living like you're still building. Drive the same car, keep the same rent. Not because you're cheap, because you're strategic. You're buying freedom, not impressing strangers. Fifth, set up automatic investing. If your money depends on your mood, it will never grow. Automate it. Every month, money leaves your checking and goes into investments whether you feel like it or not. The simplest place to start is low-cost index funds like VTI or VOO. You don't try to beat the market, you own the market. Historically, it grows 7 to 10% per year. And because you automate it, you don't time the market, you stay in the market. Warren Buffett said the stock market transfers money from the impatient to the patient. At $100,000, you must become the patient. But don't put all of it there. That's where step 6 comes in. Build an opportunity fund. This is money that sits on the sidelines waiting for that one deal most people can't afford to jump on. A business is for sale, a property drops in price, a recession hits and assets go on sale. While everyone else is scared, you're calm because you're liquid. So take 10 to 20% of your $100,000, put it in a high-yield savings account labeled opportunity. That's not money being lazy, that's money being loaded ammo. Most people miss chances not because they're not smart enough, but because they don't have cash ready. Seventh, invest in yourself, but not randomly. You pick one high-income skill that can change your life and go all in. Sales, content creation, real estate negotiation, digital marketing, coding, leadership, storytelling. If spending $2,000 makes you an extra $20,000 a year for life, That is the best return on investment on earth. Your brain is the ultimate compounding asset. $100,000 in the stock market compounded at 10% becomes $672,000 in 20 years. But you, with the right skills, can turn $100,000 into $672,000 in two. Wealth is a skill game, not a salary game. Eighth, you start building or buying assets that pay you monthly. Not someday, now, something small but scalable. A rental property, a laundromat, a small lawn care company, a faceless YouTube channel that makes money while you sleep. You don't dump the entire $100,000 into it. You test. You start small. You let the business grow and fund itself. Because the second your money starts working harder than you do, everything changes. Ninth, upgrade your circle. Not your house, not your wardrobe, your environment. If your friends laugh at your goals, spend every weekend partying, and think $100,000 is rich, they will drag you back to average without meaning to. You have to spend time around people who make $100,000 feel like step one. If you're the smartest or richest person in your circle, it's not a circle, it's a cage. Success is contagious. So is mediocrity. Choose wisely. 10th, create a personal wealth philosophy. $100,000 is not the goal. It's proof of what you're capable of. Now you build a system that takes you from $100,000 to $500,000 to $1 million and beyond. Earn more than you spend. Invest the difference. Avoid bad debt. Buy or create assets. Let compounding and time do the heavy lifting. Wealth isn't built with intensity. It's built with consistency. But let's go deeper, because this is more than math. This is psychology. When you saw that $100,000 in your account, what did you feel? Pride, relief, fear. A little voice saying, don't lose it. That voice matters. It means you're not careless. That's good. But don't let fear freeze you. Cash in a bank account is safe from loss, but never safe from time. Inflation eats it alive. A dollar today won't be a dollar tomorrow. So don't be reckless. But don't be frozen. Move slow. Learn. Then deploy with purpose. You need to understand that everyone with money has a philosophy about it. Poor people think money is to be spent. The middle class thinks money is to be saved. The wealthy think money is a tool to build more tools. That's the shift you make after 100K. You no longer ask, what can I buy with this money? You ask, what can this money buy that will make me more money? And that's when life starts changing. You begin to see the world differently. A car is no longer a symbol of success. It's a depreciating liability. A house is not just a place to live. It's leverage, tax deductions, rental potential. Social media isn't just entertainment. It's distribution, attention, business. You stop seeing money as something you trade time for and start seeing money as something that can buy back your time permanently. Most people never get here. They save $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. Then they give up and think the system is rigged. But when you save $100,000, it becomes real. You see the numbers compound faster. You see interest payments grow larger than your deposits. You see options, and options are freedom. But hear me, you cannot let pride ruin you. $100,000 can make you feel smarter than you are. That's when people take wild bets, chase meme stocks, throw everything into crypto because someone online said it's going to the moon. They don't diversify, they don't study, they gamble, and they lose. They go from $100,000 to $20,000 in a month. They become the person who says money doesn't matter, the system is unfair, everything is luck. No, it was impatience. You want your first $100,000 to be the worst your money ever performs. Because from this point forward, you will make smarter moves, take safer risks, and build systems that work without you. You have to accept something most people can't. Wealth is boring most of the time. It's not always yachts and private jets. In the beginning, it's spreadsheets, discipline, quiet nights at your desk, saying no to things that feel good now so you can say yes to everything later. And most people can't handle that. They want excitement, not excellence. That's why they stay stuck. You didn't save $100,000 by accident. You already know how to be disciplined. Now you just have to stay disciplined for a little longer until your money replaces your need to work. Remember this. Your goal is no longer just to make money, it's to own your time. Money without freedom is just numbers. You don't save $100,000 to stare at it. You save it so one day you never have to wake up to an alarm you hate, or beg for a day off, or miss a moment with your kids because your boss said no. That's what this is all about: time, freedom, choice. So when you think about what to do with your first $100,000, don't chase shiny objects. Don't let other people rush you. Don't let fear paralyze you. Do the boring things that wealthy people do every day. Protect your downside. Build your safety net. Invest automatically. Keep cash ready for opportunities. Build your skills. Buy assets that pay you. Surround yourself with winners. Live below your means just a little longer. And think long term. You don't need to be a genius. You need to be consistent. But I want to talk about something people ignore: your identity. Because you will sabotage your money if your identity doesn't match your bank account. If deep down you still think you're broke, you'll find a way to get rid of it. You'll overspend. You'll invest recklessly. You'll feel guilty. You'll think you don't deserve it, so you have to rewire your identity. You have to believe you are the kind of person who handles money well, who builds wealth, who leads, who deserves abundance, not because of luck, but because of discipline and intention. And that identity will make sure your $100,000 turns into $200,000, then $500,000, then $1 million. Your parents may have never taught you this. School definitely didn't. Society tells you to save just enough to retire at 65 and hope the government takes care of you. But you're not here for that. You're here because you want something different, something better. You want freedom while you're young enough to enjoy it. You want to travel without checking your bank account. You want to take care of your family. You want to choose how you spend your time. And now, for the first time, that's actually possible. But potential means nothing without action. So here's what your life should look like after this video is over. You take a deep breath and you make a plan. You write down your monthly expenses. You build your 6 to 12-month sleep at night fund. You list your debts and destroy the ones that take from you. You automate investing every single month into index funds. You open a second savings account and label it Opportunity. You pick one skill and spend money, time, and focus mastering it. You start building or buying something that pays you monthly. You distance yourself from people who don't think like you. You find people who make you level up. You stop asking, how do I save money? And start asking, how do I make my money work? You will not feel ready for most of this. That's because you're doing something most people never do. You're taking control before the world tells you to. You're choosing freedom before life forces you to settle. But that's how you escape the average. And that's how $100,000 becomes $1 million. This is not a fantasy. This is what thousands of people have done. People your age, people older than you, people younger than you. The difference is they didn't wait for permission. They didn't wait until they were ready. They started where they were with what they had and they moved. And over time, their systems, discipline, and patience did the rest. That's how you use your first $100,000 to build a life you don't need a vacation from. And if you keep going, if you don't let lifestyle creep, fear, or ego get in the way, you will wake up one day and realize the money isn't the best part. The best part is the peace, the silence in your mind, the ability to choose, the ability to slow down, to look around, to live. And if nobody has told you this, congratulations. Seriously, this is huge, but this is not the peak. This is just the door. You're holding the key. You can open it. And when you do, everything changes. So if this gave you value, if you're serious about using your first $100,000 the smart way instead of wasting it like most people do, hit the subscribe button, drop a like, and let me know in the comments. I'm not staying average. This content is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice.